Right now we will have another keynote speaker. Łukasz Ogrodniczak from K.I.D.S Foundation will talk about the hospital of the future from the perspective of a children. So please welcome Łukasz for the keynote speech.
Okay, guys, thank you. I think you can be quite overwhelmed by all of that information, but I hope you will not be bored by mine, because today I would like to show you some initial insights from the overview. This is actually overview from our latest study, which we conducted with K.I.D.S Foundation, and I have only 20 minutes, and actually I need to be on rush. I was exercise that, and I think I need to be like, you know, very fast to present all of I've prepared for you. So actually today I will present you something about the methodology, about the findings, and about recommendation, just to give you some context about that, just to give you also just to tell you also about the insights, and what is the most important, I would say, also about to tell you about the recommendations. So I will start with study setup, because I think it's quite very important here, because we knew from the beginning that we would like to achieve here triangulation. So that means we wanted to use very different methodology, very different methods, just to combine that insights and compare between different sources. So we start with IDIs, because we knew that we wanted to create some safe space for kids once asking them questions about the stays on hospitals. And then we also used diary studies, journals, because we wanted also to catch long-term perspective, not only when we are on the same room with kids, but also when they have some kinds of an assignments, and they could answer the questions on their own pace with support of their families. And on the end, we also decided that we would like to have some quantitative method, survey, just to have bigger scale about our insights, just to present more numbers and have like stronger evidence about what we are saying here. These are the numbers. So we've conducted around 42 IDIs, actually we sent much more diaries and journals, but we received only 18 of them back. I hope we will receive them more in the future. And so for now, we have 100 answers on our survey about when we were asking about the experiences of kids. We were conducting that study on 4 major cities in Poland. It is very important for us because we wanted, you know, again, compare the data just to be sure that we are not missing any important insights about what kids experience once being in hospitals. 2, we also decided to divide that group, target audience by 2 factors. First of them was the length of stay, because we know that if the stays are up to 2 weeks, they are completely different if they are longer, more than 1 month, for example. And the last one, of course, age, because we knew that we need to prepare different scenarios for different kids, because they are, you know, on different development phase, etc. And also we have 6 research areas here, and you all find that in the report, final report, because today is only overview. I can only present you some initial insights. We were asking about daily routine, about education, about free time, stress factors, well-being, and strengths and weaknesses of hospitals. So it's quite a lot. We have a lot of these insights, and I think we have a lot to share to you. We can all use that. And also there was a lot of amazing volunteers engaged into that process of collecting that insights, collecting that information and data. It was around 23 people. I was one of them, so I'm today only, you know, presenting that on the stage. But there was like amazing job of that people who are behind that process. So I will jump directly into the daily routine, because if I can ask you, okay, so how that day is going on when you are on stage, when you are on the hospital, of course, the best answer will be it depends, and I will not use that anymore. I would like to show you why, what are the factors it depends. So, first of all, it's characteristic of the department. Then we have personality of the children's, and we have day of the week and duration of stay. So all of that factors combined somehow implicate very different routine for the kids, but we have some factors which are quite the same in Polish hospitals during all of the stays whenever people are. Okay, so here we have some points of the day which are quite constant in every single hospital we were conducting our research. So on the beginning of the day, we have some measurements like temperature, then we have meals, then we have medical staff rounds, then we have tests, we have also treatments, and we have free time. As you can see, for most of that points of the days, there are not very positive emotions, not positive factor for the children. Starting with measurements, because they need to wake up quite early, they cannot sleep as long as they want. Meals, you know, as a fact, it's nothing unpleasant, but it's more about the quality of the foods, and usually kids in Poland are complaining a lot about that. We have a lot to improve here. Medical staff runs, here is more about curiosity, because kids are very interesting about what will happen next, what is the context of their treatments. It somehow also helps them to cope with the situation of being at hospital. So this is very interesting for them. So it's like quite neutral. It depends from the situation, and and then we have tests. Tests maybe are not so bad, but you know, there is like a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, because you know, then you need to looking for some kind of results, and we have treatments which are the worst, because you know, it's all associated with pain, injections, and all of that unpleasant feelings once being under that treatment. And we have free time, and free time is mostly positive, and it is something very important for that kids just to have better experiences. So daily schedule at the hospitals are quite similar for the children who are on the departments. But if they are for the first time in the hospitals, they have no guidance, they have no knowledge how to, you know, accommodate into that different environment, what to do, what to expect, how to prepare, and actually this is a big problem. And also, free time is limited. It's limited, you know, they cannot go outside, they cannot play as they used to at their home and the school. So we have here some problems, because we have limited individuality. We have less freedom, we have the need for quick adaptation, and we have lack of knowledge. And all of that insights combined are not very pleasant. They build that, I would say, not optimal good experiences, and we need to have that in our minds once building the next space and that experiences. So then I will jump directly into education, because this is very interesting, especially when we ask how they learn, how kids learn once being in hospitals, and most of them saying they don't. But I would like to give you some justification here. Most of them said that because the people who were the part of our study, they've been, you know, up that to 2 weeks in hospitals. So actually it's not such a long time, so they just don't need to learn very much, yeah? Because if they feel very bad and it's only 2 weeks, they can do that later. But then the second factor is I learn with teachers, then we have I learn on my own, I learn from books, so they have like very different strategies, and these scenarios I will let you know about them later. So about that school-age children who are under that 2 weeks period of being in a hospital, we have two major strategies here. So first of all, if they just don't have they do not feel well, they just do not learn, yeah? And the other scenario is that they learn with the help of parents and classmates, so it's like, you know, more individual work if they are conscientious and they are motivated enough to do that. So in case of longer stays, it's completely different, because it needs to be much more organized, structured, and we need to have here also more individual approach, because it's all connected to, you know, stage of education, type of the school, and individual motivation of the children. And here we have three scenarios. The first one, the most probable, is individual work. So they are doing everything by themselves, like, you know, they learn from the books, from the notes, from their classmates, so it's like very much individual work. The second scenario is individual lesson with teachers, so they come to the hospital and they provide them some support, and they just teach them about some chosen subjects. And the third one is remote class, so they are joining via video conferencing tool platform and have that classes online. But what are the biggest obstacle in Polish hospitals? So the biggest problem is with, this is the problem with concentration, because there is no space which is for study, yeah, and they have no, they don't have that, so they do not have their own desk, they don't have any room when they can focus apart from being on their room. So it's also about the change, and it's change about environment, change of teachers, change of the learning methods. So there is like no single model, yeah, that helps them have that education process. And I would say that this is like very big problems, but then we will talk more about the recommendation. And leisure, I mean free time. Free time is very important, and we ask kids what they are doing, and most of the time they are just searching, browsing the internet, using devices, phone, computers, etc., which we say quite normal, and I'm far away from being negative about that. But I've also asked about very different activities, what they do once being in the hospitals. So they spending their time with the family, they spending the time with hospital friends, they painting, drawing, watching movies and series, so we have electronic devices here again. And then the last 5, we have playing games, talking via social media, playing board games, playing alone, attending extra activities. So as you can see, we have a lot about electronic devices, a lot about, in general, internet, browsing the internet. And I would like you focus on that attending extra activities, because it was very rarely mentioned activity, because I will show you some additional data about that. So there is a lot of free time, especially once being on the longer stays. Children want to have that time as much similar as they have at their home or the school, and they would like to have an access to various entertainment, because they would like to choose what they would like to do and when, and they would like to not be bored once being in hospitals. So we've asked them how they want to spend their free time, and as you can see, and this is, I think, something very positive, they thought that they would like to spend more time with the other kids, with other peers on their age, because right now, especially if they are on longer stays, you know, they need to end that new friendships, and this is very important for them. They would like to have more that contact with their with other children. They also would like to attend extra activities, and we do not have that too much in Polish hospitals. If we have, they are very limited, like they are a few times per week, and this is a very good situation. But there is not like we have a lot of types of that extra activities, and this is something very important. I think we need to focus more time about that. There is, of course, spend time with the family, but other members of family, like grandmother, sibling, etc., not the guardian who is during the stays in the hospital. And then we have paint and draw, watch movies and series, play games. Actually, you know, it wasn't mentioned too often because they already do that. So that variety of entertainment is very important, because it helps them cope with that very hard situation of being in the hospitals, and we know that. And maybe it can be quite obvious for all of us, but I think this is the rule we need to remember, that free time, that leisure actually is very important, because it's something which will help them and support them once coping the situation. But we have also some insights about the hospitals, from, you know, advantages and disadvantages. And here you have the whole list about what they said about what we can improve. Like, it's a lot of that. I will not read one by one, because we would spend another hour on that. But we can see that we have like few different categories here. And we have what is the bad side of being in a hospital is, of course, that these are bad emotions, yeah? We have difficulty in maintaining relationships with current friends and new friends. We have poorly planned space, so we have no space for study. We do not have space for entertainment, usually. Also, there are some equipment shortages. So, for example, they do not have some kind of wardrobe. They do not have enough space to hide their private things, etc. Also, they have limited or no access to extra class. And food is like the very obvious, quite a big disappointment for most of the kids. So this is like one of the quotes. So small portions, still the same, no proper diet, which I require, no water, I have to buy everything. So actually it's something very bad, and that, you know, is very important once being during the stay in the hospital, but actually this is one of the biggest disadvantage. So what makes it all hard once being in a hospital is everything they lack. So they would like to have that experience as close as they have in their, you know, natural environment, in school and or in a home. And what more, also, it's being in a hospital is somehow connected to all of that bad emotions. I already said that, feeling pain, fear, inconvenience, lack of comfort. There is limited privacy. There is not enough sleep for all of them because, you know, there's like that scheduled routine they need to follow. Also, they have that limited contact with friends and limited activities. So, it's, you know, I would say that pretty all of that is about just emotions, yeah? But what is the very positive side of pediatric hospitals in Poland, and I was impressed by that, most of them said that they have amazing experience with medical staff. So they feel support, they feel empathy. And this is very interesting because I will be honest, I didn't expect that would be such a strong advantage. And what they would like to, what is good when they feel they have free time, they can decide about that free time. When the medical staff is well trained, once in relationship, once building relationship with children patients. And if they have autonomy about deciding what they can do, it also implicates their better experiences. I've also asked them about how they can evaluate different aspects of being in the hospitals. And here you have the answers. I just would like to focus I just would like you to focus on that very good answers, because actually this is something very interesting, because most of them say that everything is good and very good. But I would say that the strongest here, again, is doctor's approach of other staff, hospital equipment is, I would say, on the second place. That comfort, I would say, is, it should be on the last place based on that evidence from the interviews. So actually, it's not so bad, I would say, if we'll compare all of that. But we have some discrepancies here because, you know, they didn't evaluate so low that food, but once talking to them personally, everyone was complaining about that, for example. Yes, so this is quite interesting. So children likes everything what increases their comfort. Yeah, so they would like to maintain valuable relations, autonomy, privacy, and diversifies their stay. This is very important. Okay, ideas for improvements. Actually, I think I've been quite fast here. We have here 5 ideas, I would say. So I would start with something which we heard on the beginning. Before going on the field work and starting to cooperate with children, we have that meeting with psychologists who say there is no way that they will tell you about some positive experiences, about a perfect day in hospitals, because it is something very unpleasant. It's so unnatural being in hospitals. It's connected to feeling pain, stress, and anxiety about the future. So it's not about making the day perfect. It's about, you know, somehow give children that opportunity to better cope with all of that situation. But we have some dimensions which I think we need to focus once creating that better experiences. And we have space, we have free time, we have medical staff, we have accessibility, we have equipment, and we have rules. So I will start with the first one, if that will work. Oh, okay. So the first one is about the comfort and about equipment. Because, as I said, they feel like a lot of lacks. They do not have the same comfort as they have at houses. So sometimes something very, maybe not silly, but quite easy, like more comfortable mattresses. They would like to have more wardrobes, as I said previously, cupboards, space to hide private things, So it's like very basic, yeah? I would say that we're supposed to have that already. They're supposed to have desk for doing homework, etc. Then we have the point about the medical stuff and about how they treat the children. And this is also very interesting because I think we should have some kind of regular training for that, ensuring that employees have very golden standard once providing and talking to that kids and their parents, because still we have some incidents when it's not perfect, but we know medical staff is overloaded and we need to somehow support them in that. So probably they should have some trainings like on a regular basis. So we would like to have also more about introduction of educational lessons when doctors are explaining what's going on with their treatment, what they can expect, and all of the implication. They just would like to know more, just to better cope with all of that fear and anxiety. And also it's not only about education, it's about informing them about what next. So they would like to know the steps of their treatments. And on the end, but actually last but not least, psychological support for children and parents. Actually, we do not have that very present in Polish hospitals, and I think we should have, of course. And this is very, very important. But, you know, someone today told about that app which can help here. So space should definitely be more functional. So most of them said they would like to have individual rooms and with private bathrooms. They would like to also have that interior design more cozy, not that hospital style. They would like also have that separate areas for study, for rest and relaxation. And would like to also go outside, which is not this is very interesting, but I wouldn't expect that would be such a strong insight. But mostly all of them were telling that they're missing that very much. They also told that would like to have rooms for friends and for the parents, just for them being more comfortable once visiting them. And on the end, we have also facilities for people with limited mobility. And this is very interesting because I didn't expect that we do not have that, but sometimes it happens. And once creating and designing new space, new hospitals, we should really remember about that accessibility issues, because this is something crucial, yeah? Usually most of the people have limited mobility once being in a hospital. It's like normal, I would say. Okay, and free time. So maybe I'll just wrap up that very fast. So they would like, of course, to have TV channels, TV with educational channels and with cartoons, availability of various extra activities. They would like to have common room, which will be open for long hours. They would like to have the presence of educators who are somehow moderate that free time, moderate that activities, because it's also not about what they will do, because, you know, still these are children. Sometimes they need the support, sometimes they need the guidelines, and during that time, and it could be a good trigger for them to spend that time with better quality, I would say. And good Wi-Fi internet, yeah, of course, it's like normal. And the rules, it's not about, you know, how it is, how they experience this. Sometimes it's only about, you know, what is on the piece of work and what they can do. So they would like to have possibility visits from their friends. They would like to have simultaneous presence of two guardians, because sometimes it can be only the mother, only the father, only the guardian, but they would like to have that bigger support. They would like to also have keep silent before 7, because sometimes that you know, people are doing a lot of noise and they cannot speak, they cannot rest properly. And then I would like to have silence on the halls. So just to wrap up, because I think that I gave you like a lot of very different insights, and I hope you will all read our full report. So what is the perfect hospital of the future? And actually today Sabina had amazing workshop with children when they were kind of, you know, working of that. They were sharing their ideas, what and this is not working. Oh my God, this is very bad, but actually we're supposed to have. So I will tell you that, and then you can see that, because we have, there is a board when it's, where it's all drought. But actually, it was about having that zero-touch treatment. So with no injection, no pain, no fear. It's about having some kind of guidance in the presence of some kind of, for example, pet will tell people what to do, to children what to do next. They would like actually to have onboarding. They would like to know what is the routine in the hospital, what they can expect, what would be their treatment, how they can better cope, etc. So they would like to have that onboarding experience and that support, and also that environment is supposed to be as close as possible to having that good natural environment at home. And guys, thank you very much. On the end, I just wanted to say that this is the research team. So the people mentioned here were conducting that study. Actually, as I said, I'm just only here for the presence and just showing that to you. But yeah, big applause for them, if not for me. Thank you very much.